Hello friends, and welcome to Gardening Creekside. So, do your butterfly bushes look like this currently at the end of winter? A little brown, crispy, you think they're dead? Odds are they are not dead. So today what I'm going to do is I am going to give you some tips and tricks on overwintering, getting those butterfly bushes out of winter and off to a great start for this summer. I know here in North Carolina, a zone 8A, we had an exceptionally cold winter for a sustained amount of time, and some of my newly planted buddleias, butterfly bushes, did take a bit of a hit. So we're going to talk about butterfly bushes, why you need to prune your butterfly bushes, how to take care of them right now as we go into spring, so that way you're setting your garden, your buddleias, yourself up for great success with loads of blooms and butterflies for this summer. We are up here at the chicken coop, right? And so here in front of the chicken coop, I have 4 of the butterfly candy. This is little grape buddleia, and these were planted later in the season last year, and then I really do contribute that to the fact that they took a hit in the garden this year. So if your butterfly bushes look like this, especially if they're newly planted, brown, crispy, and you think they're dead, don't rip them out. I'm going to show you how you know if your butterfly bushes are alive and what to do. All right, my friends, so we're just going to get all nice and cozy here together on the floor of the garden. So your butterfly candies, they are a relatively new buddleia on the market. I absolutely adore them. They smell delicious. The butterflies go nuts over them. So like all buddleias, there's only one buddleia that I can think of that blooms on old growth, and that's one of the new introduction from Proven Winners. Your butterfly bushes, they bloom on new growth. That is why we need to prune them. Butterfly candies are going to be hardy in zones 5 to 10. They get to be about 2 to 3 feet tall and wide, so they're nice and petite, hence why I have them here in front of the chicken coop. Little grape is going to be that really nice, deep, rich purple. Butterflies go nuts. Now, clearly, we got some damage going on. I know that this butterfly bush is alive and well because it's got lots of green growth down there in the middle of it. So what we're going to do, if your butterfly bushes have a lot of obvious dead growth on them, burned foliage, we need to take that off. We want to take all the dead off so that the plant's not trying to revive that and puts more energy into giving us new growth, which means that we're going to have more flowers this summer. Now, how do you know if your foliage is alive or dead? Well, one, there's the obvious. If it's gray and crispy, it's dead. So that's going to start the process for you. Now, once you make a cut, and you can cut it, and you look at that stem, if that stem is brown and kind of bark's separating a little bit from the inside of the stem, it is dead. If you have a stem and you cut it, and it's nice and green, and it's really nice and tight inside, then that is alive. So when you have winter damage on your buddleias, do not freak out, because buddleias are notoriously very, very tough plants. My folks who live in zones 5, you are probably used to the vast majority of your buddleias maybe having a lot of winter burn on them. So this may not be anything new. You're like, Jenny, this happens to us every winter. The plants will be fine. Prune them and you're good to go. Well, for us Southerners, we kind of freak out a little bit when our plant babies show that they have had such winter damage. But you're going to see as I prune this away that there is a ton of green growth in here. It is those outer limbs, those outer foliage that took the hit during the winter. And so that is why we are going to remove that. Now, your buddleias, after we go ahead and get them all nice and pruned, we are going to feed them. Food equals flowers, my friends, and you need to go ahead and feed them. I talk about it all the time that our shrubs, including our butterfly bushes, need to have a nice dose of slow release fertilizer at the beginning of spring. So we are going to use plant tone. So you can use your favorite slow release fertilizer, just a nice all-purpose fertilizer on these guys. As soon as the warmer temperatures arrive for good, that would be the key word here, you're going to see new growth pop out on these babies, and they are going to take off and you're going to get gorgeous flowers. Now, when you have winter damage like this and you have to prune it back as severely as I am having to prune it back, will it delay your blooms? Possibly, maybe just by a little bit. Are you still going to get flowers? You absolutely are. So it is more important to go ahead and prune and get rid of any of that damage, feed it, and then let the plant rejuvenate and give us gorgeous flowers. So there you can see, I took out all of the old growth that is dead. Brown stems equals dead. We're cutting it back. And so then I'm going to get my plant tone. I'm just going to shake it around and kind of work it into the soil. And then I'm going to go ahead and water it and get it watered. We're currently in a drought here in North Carolina, and so we don't have any rain in the forecast. So I'm going to go ahead and get this fertilizer nice and watered in so little grape can start growing. There you go, my friends. Little grape has been pruned, fertilized, and then watered. So I have a total of 4. I have 1 on the end and then 3 evenly spaced here across the front. Cannot wait to see them all flushed out and very happy. I have no doubt that they will bounce back just beautifully, because you can see all that gorgeous growth that was down at the bottom where it was nice and protected. It's going to flush back just great. Total sidebar here, right? You may notice that when I watered, I didn't water just the butterfly bushes. I watered the entire bed. That is because, like I said, we are in a drought and it is dry. This space gets naturally dry because it's full sun and on a slope. In the next probably week to 10 days, I'm going to be planting my summer annuals in this space. And I don't want to plant them in a bone dry flower bed. So over the next time, 10 days, whenever it is that I plant, every couple of days I'm going to come through here and water the entire bed, start to get the soil, the mulch nice and moist. Because it is so dry, it's going to take a little bit of time for water to absorb. So just a little side note, if you are going to be planting annuals and you have a very dry spot, go ahead and start watering it a couple of days ahead of time to help retain that moisture. That way your annuals, when they go in, they transition in really well. That was a freebie for you, my friends. All right. Now, let's say you're like, well, Jenny, that's great, that's fine. You know, I'm sorry your butterfly bushes got a hit, but I have very healthy, very happy butterfly bushes. How do I prune those? Well, I am so glad that you asked me, because I have got some gorgeous, stunning, well-established Pugster butterfly bushes. We're going to prune one of those. I'm going to show you how differently we're going to prune the well-established Pugster over the newly planted butterfly candy. And then I have a gorgeous, beautiful beast of a Buddleia. Y'all may be shocked at how much I prune it, but it is going to be helpful and necessary to give me gorgeous blooms. I got you covered. You got butterfly questions? I got you covered, my friends. So let's move to the Pugsters. Totally different way that we're going to prune than this one. My friends, here we have a Pugster. I believe this is amethyst, so a nice lavender. You can see it has got gorgeous foliage, and so I am not going to be as severe of a prune that I was on my butterfly candies that are newly planted. So what I am still going to do is I'm going to cut it back. I'm probably taking about 8 inches off and doing a general prune all the way around. Now, there are a couple of random dead stems in here, little branches. Not a big deal. Don't be concerned about that. Just go ahead and cut them back. So in some areas, you're going to have more of a trim than others just based off of the foliage. This is a great time to go ahead and shape up the plant, right? We want to have a nice overall round habit to it. And so we're just going to go in there and prune. If you can selectively prune where you can cut right above 2 leaves, that is optimal. If not, don't worry about it, my friends, because there is a grace in gardening for sure. So I'm just going to keep going around. I'm going to go ahead and fertilize, water it in. I'll meet you back here. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm all done. Pugster amethyst has been pruned, shaped up, has that beautiful foliage, has got her fertilizer, and has been watered in. It is as easy as that, my friends. All right, so we have done butterfly bushes that have winter damage. Miniature butterfly bushes that look great, have no damage, but you still need to prune them. And then we are going to hit the last one, the big, beautiful beast of butterfly bushes. We're gonna whack it, my friends. It is going to be gorgeous this summer. Let's go ahead and go do the pink Cascade 2. My friends, we have pruned small butterfly bushes that you might think are dead. They're not. We have pruned our Pugsters, that lovely medium-sized ones, and now we're going to tackle a big, beautiful beast of a Buddleia. So if you have a large established butterfly bush that is just a big beauty. So we have pink Cascade 2 here. Love and adore this butterfly bush. It is currently probably 7 feet tall and 6 to 7 feet wide. So what we're going to do is we are going to prune this one hard. It is well established and we need to maintain its shape and encourage all of that beautiful new growth so that we get flowers from the bottom all the way up to the top. So instead of using my clippers, some of these stems are quite large, so I have got my nice big loppers that we are going to use. Let me show you what it looks like before, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like after I get, pruning on this baby. I'm just looking at it. It's big. To give you a nice perspective of this pink Cascade 2. We were here earlier when we did the pufferfish, and we talked about how we're trying to kind of limb everything up so that my October Magic Ruby camellias can shine and be happy. So that's what we're going to do, is come over here and do the same thing to the butterfly bush. I am going to take it down hard. I'm going to take it down at least by half. Y'all, they can handle it. It is nice and established. It is no big deal. So with just like the other ones, we're going to come through and we're going to cut above 2 new leaf nodes. And then, of course, if you have anything that is dead, just like these outer ones right here, obviously you want to make sure that you take those back as well. So let's just get pruning on pink Cascade 2. My friends, I was not joking when I said I was going to prune this one back big time, and I certainly did. I definitely took it back by half, if probably not a little bit more. You can see on the right side, a couple of years ago, we had a really cold wind that came through. It was this Arctic blast, and so that side of the butterfly bush was damaged, and I lost a lot of the main stems that are like to the left. So the ones on the right took it because that was the north side, and so that's where it got all the most damage. But it comes back really strong every year, and you can see all of that gorgeous new growth right in there. So I am not worried. Those 3 stems there to the right, those were the ones that were left from the storm, and I think they just have finally given up the ghost and died. So I fully suspect that we will have new strong stems come from this side and give us gorgeous growth on this pink Cascade too. I absolutely adore pink Cascade too, because one, it's big and it's beautiful. The blooms are massive. It is a very soft pink. It's not a hot, intense pink. And because, as its name suggests, pink Cascade, it has a cascading habit, not a straight upright habit. The Cascade series is also going to be a later bloomer, so it really hits its stride at the end of summer and going into fall. So that really extends my beautiful growing season on my butterfly bushes and gives me fresh blooms throughout the entire season. The butterflies go nuts over this plant. So if you're able to get pink Cascade too, definitely do it. There's a whole Cascade series. There's like violet Cascade. There's all sorts of different ones. The pink Cascade too, of course, is like the improved version. But the main takeaway from today, if you learn nothing else, or if you remember nothing else, do not be afraid to prune your butterfly bushes. In fact, you're doing more good than harm when you prune them. Of course, timing, we want to wait until we see that new growth popping out in late winter, early spring, whatever it technically may be, it does not matter. Listen to your plants. See that new growth popping out, then go ahead and prune them. Just be aware, do you have a big butterfly bush that is really well established and mature? You can take it down a lot. Do you have a newly planted butterfly bush that maybe took some winter hit and has some damage? Get rid of all of that old damaged growth, the dead growth, and then if you have that one that's just kind of a moderate and she's happy, just give her a good trim, right? Because we want tons of blooms, nice compact habit, and flowers from the bottom of the plant all the way up to the top. So prune your butterfly bushes, people, okay? That's the bottom line. Prune them. They need it, and they will reward you with tons of blooms this summer, and the butterflies will thank you as well. So as always, I hope you have found this fun and informative. Don't be afraid to prune your butterfly bushes. They can take it. They're tough plants, my friends. Hope y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.